Hello and welcome to Winslow Academy. This is part 5 in our Python cybersecurity. In this video we're going to look at how we can use Python programming to scan our system for deleted files. This script right here is already coded as you can see, so I'll just try to execute this to give you an idea of what the end result is. So if you run this, here you see that we found some deleted files. We get file type, and we have also listed which operation system user that has actually deleted this. So we have a system profile and we have the main user Alfred, and then the files that has been deleted by the given user it is listed afterwards. So this can be used to do forensics analysis on a system if you want to see if a given user has tried to delete some files, and then you can probably try to recover these files, and then you will know who tried to hide something if there is a file of interest. But let's dive into this script right here. So the first thing that we need to pay attention to is this return directory right here. So the script here has been coded in a way that it optimally is operation system independent, meaning that we will have 3 different locations where we try to scan for these deleted files. So we'll look into the files that has been recycled in the recycle bin. Next off, once we have found a given location that is valid based on the operation system that we are running the script on, we will return the correct path to the deleted files. So the main method that is actually going to do the logic for us is this find recycled right here. So first, we execute recycle directory to find our or to return directory where we store the end result in our variable right here. Then we give this path as input to our main method, which is called find recycled. In here, we will use our operation system to dive into this folder, and then we will tell it to look for all the files that is available in here based on the system user ID of a user. So first off, as you see right here, we see the listing files for user and then some long UID right here. That is actually a user ID that can't be translated, even though we tried like we did here with Alfred. So if we just tell the system to go through the deleted files based on users without doing some user translation, this is the ID that we'll get for all users available. But since we would like to know exactly the name of the user that has deleted a file, we have implemented a little method called isID to user, and that is the method that we call right here. But first, we list based on the original ID. We list the files that has been deleted using this OS list directory right here. And then basically we just loop over these and print them out in their names right here. So we have the found files, which is the print line right here within this loop that just loop over each file found. But the user that we are printing, so for example Alfred, has to be translated first. So that is what's going on in this top method right here. So in here we actually use the Windows directory to look at the user information so that we can try to translate each SID into a username, and then that will allow us to print this user here, which is much more useful for us instead of this ID right here. So we'll go into this method where we use this Windows register, where we take the Windows register key. We have the local machine here, so we take the software Microsoft Windows NT current version profile list. Then we append it with this SID, which were originally ID like this one right here, and then we take the profile image path, and based on this we are actually allowed to look up this ID and see if there is a valid readable username available. If there is, we'll take this username, we will do the appropriate split based on where this particular user is in the file. So if you change this, for example, we can try to say -2 and just execute this. then we see that we only get, for example, users and config, because now we're actually splitting in this returned path in the wrong way. So by using -1, we are in the exact location where the particular username is to be placed. Then we will be returning the user value if one is found. If not, we simply just default back to this SID, which is why we see the SID right here, because we couldn't find a valid user for this particular one. But we found one for Alfred and one for system profile. Based on this, we can get back to the main method, where we just take this user and print it before we loop over all the files that has been found for this particular user, which is happening in this first loop right here, so the outer loop. And this is basically all the methods that you need in this particular script. So you have 3 main scripts. One that returns the directory path based on the operation system. Our main logic method that will loop over the files found in that particular directory based on the users that has been operating and deleting files. And then you simply just do user ID, system ID translation to username. And based on this, you can create this main method, which just combine the return of the right directory and give us an input to our main logic file. And that is basically all you need to have this script running. If you are running this right out of the box, means that you will just write the code here and then try to execute it, you might be prompted with Windows saying that you do not have access to the particular path that has been found on the operation system. So you might need to run either the terminal or the IDE that you have been coding it in. For example, this is PyCharm. I have to run this as an administrator before Windows will give me access to look up what files has been deleted. So this was all for this video, and then I will see you next time here on Winslow Academy.